Currently residing in Cranford, New Jersey, Ada DiFabio may appear to be your typical loving Italian grandmother. Today, she's preparing a Sunday dinner for her family. The happiness of the family means a great amount to Ada. She appreciates every moment she gets to spend with them, because within Ada's past lies a tragic experience in which her and her family may not be here today.
I was born in 1940. I grew up in a small town, Monteferrante, Abruzzo, Italy. Very simple life. Growing up, there wasn't much to do. We had no TV, hardly any radios, no telephone. So we learned how to invent our own games. I know I was very good at climbing trees. Most of the time, parents didn't even know where we were because it was very simple, secure place to grow up. And everybody knew each other and everybody took care of each other. During the Second World War, and it was a little hard for us children and for the adults. Everybody leaned on each other. I think we all support each other, older and younger. For us teenagers growing up, it didn't have much to offer except work in the fields or going over different countries. We just didn't want to go to the fields, to the vineyards. It was hard working. I grew up in that age that I guess we all start getting sensible and say, okay, this town is not for us. Late 40s, a lot of families start to come to America. And I grew up with that in mind, that someday I was just going to go far away from there, for whatever the reason was. But everybody was talking about a better place, a better future. These distant dreams that we all had growing up. I had 2 uncles in the United States, and my mom wrote a letter to one of her brothers, and we had to go to the Italian embassy, and that's where I received the visa. I was really, really happy. It was July 18, 1956. That day, it was like a lot of loved ones that they were going away, and God knows when the family will see them again. So there was a lot of tears, a lot of crying, a lot of goodbyes, especially the ones that left their wives and the children, leaving my mother and father, my sister, especially my grandmother. It hurt. It took me a lot of courage. We said goodbye, and I got myself on the ship with, I think we're 1,500 people. It was something that I had never seen it before. I never stepped on one before. That was the beginning of my new life. I was assigned a cabin with people that I never met before. The first day that we put the life jacket on and told us what to do. And if something happened, we just put it on and go on the deck. So, and even though the day went so fast, before we went to bed. And it was the first day, the second day, it was just enjoying the view, the ocean, which I had never been on the boat. They had a lot of dancing in the evening, which was nice, it was entertaining, which I couldn't do that before, because parents, growing up in a small town, we had to sneak out and dance. It was not something we were allowed to do it. But then the July 21st, it was my birthday. I was 16 years old on the ship. The 25th, very important day, because that was the last day that we were supposed to be aboard. The next day, we were supposed to come to New York, 8 o'clock in the morning. It was this big festivity. You know, you dress your best. And we went to the dancing floor, and we were having fun, really. But then everybody said, well, tomorrow morning we have to get up early because, you know, we're getting to New York. When I went down to my cabin, it was very quiet, so everybody was sleeping but me. I started climbing the steps, the little steps that we had for the bunk beds, and all at once the ship rocked. This big explosion. The sound was so loud.
On the foggy night of July 25th, 1956 at 11:10 p.m., Swedish ocean liner the Stockholm strikes the starboard side of the Andrea Doria.
The floor, it was on the side, the rooms were on the side, the cabin was on the side, the hallway was on the side. I knew that something really was wrong. And I flew off the room, down the hallway. Then I came on the bottom of this big stairway that I had to climb, and it was sideways. And I practically crawled up. And nobody was around, because probably I was one of the first one to be up those steps. And I remember getting dark, no electricity for the moment. And all at once I experienced the smell of oil and smoke. But somehow I reached the top of the stairs where I had just left, and all the furniture were on the opposite side. I heard the voice, and he says to me, where's your life jacket? So at that moment, I turned around and I noticed that it was the young priest that was celebrating Mass for us every morning. He took his life jacket off and he gave it to me. And at that moment, I realized that no matter how much we think we're growing up and we want to do things on our own, and really we think we know it all, but we don't, because I wasn't really responsible. I completely forgot to get those life jackets and put it on. So at that moment, I noticed that I didn't have my mom or my dad or my nonna to caress me. I went outside on the ledge, with the railing, outside where everybody was. That's where all the crying and the screaming and the yelling, and it's like something that I don't wish anyone. The worst thing it was that nobody was telling us anything. We were praying. I never cried. The only thing I was thinking about, my mother, my father, just listen to receiving that bad news that I had drowned. We were waiting to die. There were ropes hanging on the side. I have to get a rope and slide down, and I hesitated for a while, but then I did pick up that rope and I did go down. He'll do anything to survive. The minute I got on that lifeboat, it was going to be okay. We could see from distant lights from another ship, and we got towards this ship, which was called the Ile de France. And we climbed rope steps. We were picked up like at 4:30 in the morning, and everybody was there to greeting us with blankets and drinks. The big impression that we all got, how well we were treated. After dark came light, and we got to New York at 6 o'clock at night. I still get chills from it, because you could see that the whole port were waiting for us. There were news people and camera all over, and I remember the first thing I saw, it was the Red Cross. They offered us donuts. I was welcomed to America with donuts. I was told to go meet my family. My uncle and my relatives, they didn't even know that I was still alive. And then I heard someone calling me, and my uncle had married a lady that was born in America. So for her to say Adalgisa, it wasn't easy. So I heard her saying Adasia. So I said, okay, so that must be my name. They were in New York all day long, waiting to see if I was alive or not. So that's when we really embraced and we found each other. And they took me home to Elizabeth. But it took me a long time with anxieties, being in the elevator, closed in. I always worry what's going to happen. So you really live through the whole life with that in your mind. It doesn't leave you. You have the memories, but also you have the strength that guides you in life. Given that moment that I had come down to that rope, you just do it and you go forward and you try your best. I have no regrets. I had a beautiful life. I got married to my school sweetheart, which we met after we met again in this country. I have children, a son and 2 daughters, and 6 wonderful grandchildren. And everything that anybody could dream about it. And every day I thank God for that.